What is up, guys? Today is an awesome day in Marvel Champions history because the Jubilee Hero Pack has officially been announced. So this will be my first thoughts, and I'll be taking a look at it for the first time right here. So it says Shopping Spree announcing the Jubilee Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, a card game. All right, let's get into it. So they orphaned as a teenager, Jubilee Lee survived on her own by taking up residence in her favorite shopping mall. After her mutant power to generate explosive energy manifested, she found a new home with the X-Men. Now she uses her powers as the colorful hero Jubilee. And then Fantasy Flight Games is pleased to announce her hero pack. And then let's see, 15 signature cards, as in every hero pack, the same thing. And then there's a pre-built Justice deck ready to play with her. And then let's see, she is a flashy hero that can brighten up your games. This hero pack also includes a bonus module set featuring the Assassin Arcade. Okay, and then Jubilee here. Oh, she has Wolverine as an identity-specific ally. He looks super duper cool in this art. 4-cost ally, 1 Thor, 3 attack. So similar to his aggression ally here. Let's take a look at his aggression ally. Wolverine. And actually the exact same stat line, that 4-cost, 1 Thor, 3 attack, but 2 consequential damage for attack activations. I guess he's going to be really strong. It looks like he has 4 hit points here as well. Alright, so this is Jubilee here. She has 3 recovery, Mall Rat, action, search your deck for the shopping spree. Players' sides get put into place. So she's really into that shopping spree thing. They're really diving into that. I guess that is where we kind of first encountered her. And then Jubilee has 1 Thor, 1 attack, 2 defense. Like totally, a resource. You can exhaust Jubilee to generate a wild resource. Oh, interesting. So her stats aren't that great. They're a little bit under the curve. We want like a 2/2/2. But you can exhaust her to generate a wild resource. I wonder if her side scheme is going to be good. And then what's her hand size here? So she has 6 hand size in Alter Ego, 5 in hero form, and 9 hit points, which I think fits her, but a little bit low with the 9 hit points, but that's okay. Like totally. Even among other heroes in Marvel Champions, Jubilee has a bit of a unique kit. Her playstyle is all about utilizing different resource types in big, bright bursts, and her innate ability helps her get that done. After all, a wild resource can be treated as any type you want. So I think that's just the Jubilee card. Yeah. Okay. As for her alter ego side, as someone who used to live in a mall, it makes sense that Jubilation Lee is still a mall rat at heart. With her unique player side scheme shopping spree, let's take a look at her side scheme here. So it's a 0-cost side scheme, which is good. So you can get it as an action. So it's not a setup, which means search your deck for the shopping spree playlist that's put into play. Oh, you have to put it into play though. It doesn't go to your hand. Okay, I was thinking if it can go to your hand and you can do your discard power, you can add it as like an extra resource every single turn and just keep tuning it to your hand and then spend it. But you have to put it into play, and it's limit once per phase. Okay. So let's take a look at the side scheme. Threat cannot be removed from this scheme by heroes or allies. Alter ego action, so you must use this. Not even Jubilee can thwart this side scheme. Only 2 threat. Exhaust your identity, remove 1 threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an item card and puts it into play. Oh, that's really cool. So I guess she's shopping a lot, so she must have a lot of item cards, which is probably like items that she shopped for in the mall. Okay. So for a handy item cards like her coat, which is going to be a 2-cost upgrade. So we saw that card earlier. Jubilee's coat, she gets +1 Thor. Okay, so that's good. And a hero response, Thort. After you play a Thor event, exhaust Jubilee's coat and choose a scheme. Remove 1 Thor from that scheme for each different resource type used to pay for that event. So when you play a Thor event, you can exhaust a coat, and then you choose a scheme. So this can be any scheme, but it is a Thor activation, so this will not bypass stuff like Patrol. So you can't do the main scheme if there's a Patrol minion in play. And remove 1 threat from that scheme and for each different resource type used to pay for that event. Oh, cool. So you want different resource types to pay for the event. But if you use wilds, you can have the wilds act as different resource types for whatever Thor event that you're playing. So wild is going to be really good with her. So I guess she's similar to Domino, that she wants a lot of wild resource types in her kit. Because it doesn't seem like you need printed resources, so just wild is going to be good. And a 2-cost upgrade for +1 Thor permanently. It's really good. It's just a better version of the Heroic Intuition, the Justice card. Okay, let's see. And then she also has her sunglasses. It's a 2-cost upgrade, Jubilee sunglasses. She gets +1 attack. Okay, so that will get her to the 2 Thor, 2 attack, 2 defense type of stat line. Hero response attack after you play an attack event. exhaust Jubilee's sunglasses and choose an enemy. Do 1 damage to that enemy for each different resource type used to pay for that event. So exact same thing. So she wants to play attack events and thwart events, right? She's not like a readying hero. And then you want to use multiple resource types when you're playing those events. So this could be very, very powerful, right? If you're playing like a 3-cost attack event and you're using 3 different resource types, then you can do additional 3 damage with your sunglasses. You can remove an additional 3 thwart with your coat. I think they're both very good. Obviously, I think the thwarting one is a little more valuable to be able to remove that extra thwart for the same cost. Yeah. Each of these items add an extra spice to her thwart and attack events respectively, depending on the number of resource types. Okay, see where this is going? Yes. And then outside her shopping trip, Jubilee's events are where her powers really shine. She can fry an enemy and stun them with firecracker. Oh, so we got an event. Okay. 2-cost event. It's attack and a superpower, so we could use Depth Focus for it. Hero action attack. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If you pay for this card using 2 different resource types, stun that enemy. I see. Okay, so 2 for 4, and then you get a stun. So most likely you will get that stun because we want to put a lot of wild resources in her kit. And then you can also exhaust her sunglasses here. So to do 2 extra damage, right? Because then it would be 2 extra resources, right? So that's going to be 4 plus 2, so 6 damage. But you only do that once per round, right? Or yeah, once per round, unless you can ready up the sunglasses, because usually you're gonna have to exhaust it and then it's done, so you can't play another firecracker. So it could be 2 for 6, but then and then you can get a stun, which is good. But you can't do it multiple times, right? You can play firecracker multiple times and get multiple stuns, but you just can't get that +2 from the sunglasses for every event. Okay, so not bad. It's a pretty standard type of attack event. And then remove some threat and confuse enemy with flash of light. Okay, so she has stuns and confuses. Flash of light's a 2-cost thwart event. Here, action thwart, remove 3 threat from a scheme. You pay for this using 2 different resource types to confuse an enemy. So, yeah, very, very. I think she has a very standard type of kit, right? 2 for 3, and you can get confused if you fulfill this condition here. Take a look at Firecracker again. Stun that enemy. Okay, I was just making sure. So when you do 4 damage to enemy, you have to stun that same enemy. You can't pick a different enemy. Okay. Then stun and confuse multiple enemies at once with blinding flash. Oh, that sounds really cool. And then different copies of her signature events have different printed resources icons to help fuel her multiple resource type engine. But you can also power up your events with this. Okay, let's take a look at blinding flash. 3-cost event. Hero action. It's not a thwart or an attack, so it bypasses stuff like guard, patrol, all that stuff. Choose X enemies, where X is the number of different resource types used to pay for this event. Oh, okay. Stun and confuse each chosen enemy. So I'm not sure here. It says and wild. It doesn't say printed. So I'm not sure if you can have the wild act as one of these resources or act as a wild itself. So this is a 3-cost event. So assuming that the number of resources that we use to pay for this event. So I know a ruling in Marble Champs is that you can't overpay for an event, or if you overpay for an event, it doesn't count as effects that were used to pay for it, because used to pay for it isn't used to overpay for it. So since this is a 3-cost event, you only get 3 different resource types. So choose up to 3 enemies, and then we can stun and confuse each chosen enemy. So that's very powerful. Wow, okay, it's stunning and confusing up to 3 enemies. So I mean, I think mostly this is gonna be useful just for the villain, but yeah, I mean, you could do some minions as well. And yeah, I mean, so I'm not exactly sure. I think what it's trying to say is that you can, if you have like, let's say 3 wild resources, one of the wilds can be an energy, one can be a mental, and the third wild can actually just be a wild resource. So I'm not sure why it has this, or what that would change for this card, because I know if it said printed resources, then for sure the wild has to be a wild and it can't be one of these other ones, but it doesn't say printed for any of her card effects. So I'm assuming the wilds can be anything. But yeah, I guess I'm not exactly sure how her kit will work there. But I mean, if the wilds cannot be anything when counted as a different resource type, that would make her very, very restrictive, I think. But yeah, I mean, assuming that we can, I think it just adds some more versatility by allowing the wilds to be anything they want and include its own resource. So you can have the wild just actually be wild. Okay. There's a blinding flash. That's her big event, I guess. And then let's see, plasmoid energy. Oh, cool. She has a double resource. That's awesome. So energy and a mental. Very, very cool. So, and it's also two different types to pay for her different events and get those two different things off, or two different resource requirements off, which itself has three. Oh, okay. So I think she's in a different. Oh, she has three. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So she has three different resource types, and it's a mental, physical energy. Yeah, so they're all different. And then the energy mental. Okay. So that's gonna help pay for a lot of stuff and help get her set up. That's really cool. So yeah, okay, awesome. So I love heroes that have those extra resources in their kit, like a Captain Marvel, even a Hulk that has his limitless strength card, because it just makes playing your upgrades and supports a lot easier. And endgame, it's a lot easier to play a lot of events too, especially expensive ones. Okay, so now I think that's it with her hero kit so far. Okay, let's take a look at her uh, justice cards. So Husk is a 4-cost ally with 2 thwart, 2 attack. She has a little interrupt for both. When Husk uses a basic power, spend up to 3 resources. If you spend at least energy, she gets +1 to the power. Mental, heal 1 from Husk. And a physical, ready Husk after this use. Oh wow, okay. So you could theoretically, I mean, if you have her attack or thwart, you can spend, ignoring the energy, if you spend a mental and a physical, you heal her back up and ready her back up. She can thwart again or attack again, heal and ready her back up, thwart again, and just keep on going. So that's actually very, very cool. I feel like that could be very powerful potentially, but you guys spend a lot of resources to get that. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think she's a pretty versatile ally. I think she requires a lot of resources, right? Being 4 cost is expensive, and then this type of interrupt, you're constantly spending resources while she's in play. But she's really good for a huge burst, right? Like if you like have a bunch of resources in your hand and you need like 10 attack, I mean, she could do that 10 attack for you in a single turn, or 10 thought removal, right? Which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it just requires a ton of resources. So a unique ally that I think you could definitely build around. 1-cost upgrade here, we have Disguise. Play under any player's control, maximum per player. Action, Thwart. Exhaust Disguise and your identity. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Let me see. So this is cool because you can remove threat and alter ego. So it's a nice way if you're in your alter ego and you don't want to flip over and you still have your exhaust ready, you could just exhaust your alter ego and discard to get 2 threat off. So this card actually I think has a lot of value. A lot of these 1-cost upgrades I think are not that useful, but this one I can actually see it being used a lot. In a lot of decks that you want to stay in alter ego and you're already at full hit points, so you don't need to exhaust or recover, and then you're just staying ready up the entire round. I see Iron Man. Iron Man would love this in the early game if you're staying in your alter ego side and you don't have any meditations or anything else like that. You can just constantly exhaust Iron Man to remove that from the scheme while you're building up his suit and staying in alter ego. So this is a very cool card. Jubilee's powers are potent, but she will eventually have to flip back to alter ego to rest and recover and go on another shopping spree. Thankfully, her pre-built Justice deck comes with plenty of tools for keeping that in check. Okay, so we got Husk, we got Chamber. Is that a different card? Yeah, it is. So Chamber's another ally here, okay? Another Justice ally. 4-cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 type. Wow, they're really good stat lines. 3 hit points. And then here's a little thing here for the attack. Chamber takes -1 consequential damage after he attacks a confused enemy. Okay, so if he's hitting confused enemies, then he doesn't take any consequential damage, which is pretty good. So very good for like, I guess, decks that's building around confused. He reminds me of the 2-cost ally that helps you draw a card when he attacks a confused enemy. So cool. But he's just a lot more expensive, and I think it is a little bit hard to get the trigger condition off, and it's a little bit slow because you just want to keep him in play, right? So he's not my favorite, but I think he can definitely be useful, and he has a psionic trait, which can help a lot of things. And they both have the X-Men trait too as well, right? Husk has the X-Men trait here, and so does Chamber. Okay, they can take advantage of the confusion Jubilee inflicted to attack without consequence. In a pinch, Jubilee can donate Disguise. Oh yeah, so this card right here that we saw earlier, to thwart even while in alter ego, which also happens to work wonderfully with her shopping spree player side scheme. You can either use shopping spree to find Disguise or use Disguise to clear the threat off of shopping spree. You can use, oh right, because shopping spree says that heroes cannot remove threat off of it, right? So let's see, exhaust your identity, remove 1 threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. So you can exhaust your alter ego to remove a threat, or you can threat cannot be removed from this scheme by heroes or allies. And then the disguise is not a hero or ally. So this is, wait, no, this is a hero action. This is an action thwart. Oh, by heroes or allies. Okay. So if you use this in alter ego, it's your alter ego thwarting out the shopping spree. So I guess that's how you can remove it. If you use the this card right here, if you use a disguise in your hero form, because you use it in hero form or alter ego, then it cannot remove that from the shopping spree. But this combos with shopping spree if you're in your alter ego. And one thing that I just noticed right now, it's really, really cool about the shopping spree, is that it does not go into the victory display. So it's a player stats that gets cleared off and it goes back into your own discard pile. So that is really, really powerful with her effect right here, Mall Rat. So she wants to be an alter ego a lot. So you can get this, you get the shopping spree player stats back into play. And if you can clear it again, yeah, then you can, okay, so that's why the action here, search your deck for the shopping spree player side scheme. It's not the discard pile. So this could be really bad if you draw the shopping spree in your hand, because then you can't get that free +1 card to your hand. And if it's in your discard pile, you cannot get it back. I wonder if there's a way to get the shopping spree back into your deck. I would love the Mall Rat a lot more if you could search your deck and discard pile for the shopping spree player side scheme. But I think that's a little bit limiting there. I was thinking it's gonna be so powerful, because if you can constantly get it discarded and then get it back to your hand from the discard pile or deck, you have an extra resource, or you can play it and it can get you an item right to your hand. Search your deck and discard pile for an item. It puts it into play. Oh, okay. So you're not adding much to your hand size, but you're really just getting the items into play. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Once you got a scheme down to low threat, just finish it off with Jubilee to Waylay. So what is this? Okay, we have a Waylay here. It's a 3-cost event. Hero response attack. So this is an attack event. After your hero thwarts, do 4 damage to an enemy. 7 damage instead if that thwart removed the last threat from this scheme. Okay, so I'm not the biggest fan of this card. So it is a huge justice attack event, is the thing, right? A 3-cost attack event doing 7 damage, potentially. You have to thwart first, which I don't think is that bad after your hero thwarts. So you can play a thwart event, which counts as a thwart activation, and you can play the Waylay after that, or you can make a basic exhaust thwart and then play the Waylay. So that's good that you can do that, and then do 4 damage to an enemy. So 3 cost for 4 is not good, but if that thwart removed the last threat, then it's really good, because then you can do 3 for 7. And what's cool is that this will actually combo with a lot of, this has a lot of synergy with Jubilee's cards, right? It combos with Disguise, because this is still a thwart. So if you use this as in hero form, it's a hero, or it's not a hero actually, but it's a thwart in hero form. So then you can use your Waylay after using that if it removes the last threat from a scheme. And then this combos with Jubilee's, I believe, her sunglasses, right? So an attack event is going to be, the Waylay is an attack event. We can exhaust our sunglasses, choose an enemy, and do 1 damage to that enemy for each different resource type used to pay for that event. Yeah, so that could help. One thing about her sunglasses and her coat is that it is an attack itself, right? So it's a hero response attack, and this one right here is a hero response thwart. So, I mean, it's still good to get that extra bonus, but this does count as a separate instance of thwarting and attacking. So against the tougher villain to have retaliate, when you play your attack event, you get retaliated on. And then when you use her sunglasses, you get retaliated on again. So it's just going to be a lot of retaliate, like a lot of different instances of damage, which can be good and can be bad, right? It can be good for getting rid of minions, for a lot of different minions, and it can be a little bit bad for trying to do a big burst on the villain. Okay, and then use Jubilee's spectrum of resources to get the most out of 3 steps ahead. So another justice event here, 3-cost event, thwart, hero action, thwart for each different resource type. So all the different resources here. You use to pay for this card, choose a scheme and remove 2 threat from it. Okay, so right, assume that we're going by the same thing. You can't overpay for this card, so I'm actually going to use 3 different resources. So then it's going to be 3 for 6, which is not my favorite for a thwart. Just because oftentimes whenever you're playing thwart events, your identity-specific thwart events are going to be a lot better and just more efficient. But I mean, yeah, it's not bad. And if you can somehow increase the cost of this card to 4, then you could pay with all different resources here. So that'll be, but then it'll be 4 for 8, which is still not good. I mean, it's not like not good, but it's the same as the 3 for 6. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm still a little bit confused about the energy, mental, physical, and wild here because I'm thinking at max you can use 3 anyways. And then there's no point putting the wild here because the wild can just be any one of these at all times, right? So I'm a little bit confused there, but if you guys know what's up with that or the official ruling behind it, please let me know down in the comments. But I think that the wild still can be anything because it's not a printed resource type. Okay, and then multi-talented, the 3 cost basic event is attack and authority. Okay, I love these things, especially for Wolverine, so you can use its claws with them. Hero action attack thwart. If you pay for this event using at least 1, so physical resource do 2 damage. Okay. So you want to use all 3 of these different resource types, and a wild can be any of them. So then it's 3 costs for, and you want to get all of it, right? So 3 costs for deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme, and heal 2 damage from your identity. Okay, that's not bad. I think it's better than the previous basic event that we got, which I don't remember the name, which is also 3 costs, and it's 2 damage and 2 threat removal. That came in the Gamora hero pack because it's still going to be 3 costs, and you can potentially get this thing right here, the heal 2 damage from your identity as well, which can be very useful. Actually, this could be very powerful as a way to recover in in your hero form. But yeah, deal 2 damage. So this is an attack and a thwart activation. So this will hit stuff like retaliate, can't bypass guard, and then this does not bypass a patrol because it is a thwart activation. Okay. And then call on Wolverine. Okay, so we get to see Wolverine, Jubilee's identity specific ally. So 4 cost ally, 4 hit points, 1 thwart, 3 attack, 2 consequential damage for attack activations. Wolverine's attacks gain piercing. So same, almost exact same as the aggression one so far. And then response after you change the alter ego form. Heal 3 damage from Wolverine. Oh wow, okay. So this is very, very similar to this one because this one's after your turn begins, heal 1 damage from Wolverine. But this works so well with Jubilee and even better than the aggression one for Jubilee because you can heal 3 damage from Wolverine just whenever you change the alter ego. So I can definitely see playing Jubilee, like Wolverine's going to be a huge card in her kit because she wants to flip over a lot. You can keep it in play pretty much forever. And I wonder how Psychic and that stuff will work with Wolverine. But I think that he can recover himself without anything with Psychic anyways. But yeah, very, very cool. Super duper strong ally, very strong stat line. Definitely a very, very good ally, especially for Jubilee, who wants to flip over a lot, especially to use her shopping spree alter ego actions. Okay, very, very cool ally. And very thematic as well, because it's very Wolverine-esque. Okay, to help you clear threat from Generation X, is this another? Oh, this is a player side scheme for the justice aspect. 0 cost, victory 0. So this one does go into the victory display when it's defeated. And each X-Men character gets +1 thwart while making a basic thwart against a scheme. Okay, so this can probably be cleared out in 1 or 2 thwarts in solo. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard out for an identity-specific event. Add to their hand. Oh man, okay. So only for X-Men characters. But Cable's not an X-Men character. He's X-Force, but Cable would rock with this, especially for late game. This can help you tutor deck and discard pop for an identity-specific event. Yeah, this can help Cable get his big telekinetic blast and just finish the villain off. So this definitely powers up Cable as well. And it's nice to be able to get an identity-specific event. You can play this even if you're not an X-Men. You don't need that +1 thwart. So for anyone, this is actually a very, very good player stat scheme. Like even for like Peter Parker Spider-Man, you can choose when you get that swing web kick back to your hand. You can play swing web kick, clear this off, and get a swing web kick back to your hand, the one that you just played. So you get two big attacks off, right? Because you can search your deck and discard power for that identity specific event. Yeah, getting an identity specific event is so powerful, especially from the deck and discard power. This is definitely one of the better player side schemes out there. But this one's more for a late game, not for setup. I think usually we've seen player side schemes for setup, and this one I think is really good for a late game. But also good for setup as well, right? Because you can get like a authority event or whatever that you need for that situation to maybe stun or confuse the enemy as well. All right, and then hunt for one of her powerful events. She and Logan make a bit of an unlikely duo. Oh, this is their team up card. 2 cost event. Okay, I like the art here. I think that's Avalanche, and then Jubilee and Wolverine are taking him down. Hero action attack, confuse an enemy, do 4 damage to confuse enemy. Okay, so yeah, I mean this really builds off of Jubilee's thing where she wants to be using statuses, which I'm not the biggest fan of, because I think Star would kind of make a lot of her kit not as good, and she seems a little bit lackluster so far, unfortunately. But they actually work pretty well together. A Deadly Game, Arcade. So this is her. Is this? Oh no, this is that modular set that they said earlier that comes with the Jubilee pack. So a minion, 2 scheme, 2 attack, 3 hit points. You cannot take damage while a trap side scheme is in play. When reviewed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a trap side scheme is discarded, and then reveal it. So he comes into play, and he's gonna bring a trap side scheme as well, and he can't take damage while the side scheme is there. And then this is the elaborate trap. So this is this is a treachery card. Resolve the one defeated ability on each trap side scheme as if you defeated it if no abilities were resolved. So we're just constantly trying to get the trap side schemes in play. It seems like this Mario set wants to get the side schemes. And then is this a trap side scheme? Okay, this is a trap side scheme here. Welcome to the murder world. Hinder 1 times player. When defeated, the player who defeated the side scheme takes 2 damage. Oh, okay, so if this triggers is not good, and then it's a hazard as well, so you want to clear it off, but then you get to take 2 damage. All right. And then Funhouse, I'm guessing is another trap side scheme. So hinder 1 times player. When defeated, the player who defeated the side scheme is stunned. If they're already stunned, discard an ally or upgrade they control. So you want to just take the stun instead of discarding something. And Amplify is not that bad. So yeah, they all have like a bad icon and then like a really bad one defeated effect. And then again, I'm guessing this is the last side scheme. Hall of Mirrors, hinder 1 times player. When defeated, the player who defeated the side scheme is confused. And then if they're already confused, place 2 threat in the main scheme with a crisis. So we gotta get rid of this one. Okay. Yeah. So this has 3 side schemes in the modular set, which is pretty interesting. And then, as with all the other modular sets, the arcade set can be added to any scenario for some extra challenge. Can you survive his villainous death traps? Malrat, with her focus on different resource types and different events, Jubilee is a flashy and fun hero and a great addition to any team. Look forward to battling the forces of Apocalypse with Jubilee at your side when the Jubilee Hero Pack launches in July. Okay, so it's gonna come out in July. You can pre-order your own copy of it. Okay, cool. Well, okay, I guess that was all of Jubilee's cards. So it's interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of her art here, actually. I'm not sure if the quality is gonna be better later. And then, I mean, honestly, man, I was really hyped for Jubilee. Her kit, so far to me, it looks a little bit lackluster. But the thing is, I'm sure there's a lot of combos that I'm not seeing. So I love these type of Justice Heroes where you have to flip over to Alter Ego a lot. Well, actually, she doesn't have to flip over, but she gains a lot of benefits from flipping over. And it seems like her Alter Ego side might actually be a little bit better than her hero side with the shopping spree player side skill that you can constantly recur over and over again. My only thing is that it has to be back in the deck, which is a little bit unfortunate, so you can't recur it all the time. I wonder if she has more cards to get that card back into her deck, because that would make her very, very good to constantly get it out. Yeah, if she had like a upgrade or support to get the shopping spree from discard to the deck, I would love that, because then you can constantly just use the mall rat to put into play or something, and then clear it off and then get more items. So I think it's a pretty cool way for her to get set up, getting those items into play. I think personally, I might prefer to get him in the hand because then you have more versatility. But putting him into play is very strong too. And the shopping spree also puts the items into play, right? So you get her coat or sunglasses, and then they just go straight into play. I wonder if she has more item cards or there's more like aspect cards that are item cards that she can help. I'm not sure what item cards we have in the game right now. But yeah, I mean, it can be any item cards. So if there's any strong item cards that could be very, very powerful. But yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my first impressions of Jubilee right now. I'm not, I don't think she's like going to be the strongest hero. She actually looks a little bit lackluster, but I'm sure there's a lot of cool Alter Ego combos, because I think when you're flipping down to Alter Ego a lot, there's a lot more unique combos that the game presents. So hopefully there's a lot more cool things with her. Yeah, I don't know too much about her actual abilities, so I'm not sure about the thematicness. They're really playing into the fact that she likes to be in the mall, because I guess Mutants in the Mall was like the first time that a lot of us met Jubilee. But yeah, compared to Iceman, I think Iceman actually looks a lot more fun so far. But yeah, we will see what happens with Jubilee. I'm not sure how she's gonna play and everything, but yeah, and I do want to know about that resource thing. The WoW resource can be a physical and mental energy, because based on all the rulings in the past, the wilds can be, you can declare the resource type, right? So you declare the wild when you use it, you say it's going to be a mental, and it will be a mental resource. You have another wild be a physical, and unless it says you have to use a printed resource, that you can use the wasp for whatever you want. So if you guys know how that works with Jubilee, and if it works the same as it did in the past, definitely let me know down in the comments. Yeah, so let me know. Are you guys excited for Jubilee still, or was this a little bit more disappointing? And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.